Okay, so what if I told you there's a single molecule that powers our bodies, builds entire forests, and even holds the blueprint for life itself? Today, we're going to dive into carbohydrates, and I promise you'll see the world of sugar in a completely new way after this.
All right, to really wrap our heads around this, we have to start with the big picture. I want you to imagine this invisible engine that's running our entire planet. It's not mechanical, it's biological, and it is just absolutely massive in scale. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This single sentence is the foundation for everything we're about to cover. From the tallest trees to the tiniest bacteria, carbohydrates are the #1 organic material on our planet. They are literally everywhere.
So, this sounds like the start of a riddle, right? What could cereal, a piece of furniture, and your own genetic code possibly have in common? I mean, they seem totally unrelated, but the truth is, they're all connected by a surprisingly simple, fundamental design.
Yep, you heard that right. All of that incredible complexity, all of those wildly different functions, they all boil down to one tiny type of molecular Lego brick. And if you can understand this single building block, you've got the key to unlocking the entire world of carbs.
So let's zoom way in and meet these fundamental bricks. We're entering the world of the monosaccharides, which literally just means single sugars. This right here is where the story of every single carbohydrate begins.
Now, don't let the technical terms throw you off. Polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones, that's just a chemist's fancy way of describing a very specific recipe. All it really means is you've got a backbone of carbon atoms decorated with hydrogen and oxygen, usually in a nice, neat 1:2 to 1 ratio. That's the basic formula for sugar. And this chart here? It lays it out perfectly. The whole vast family of carbohydrates starts right here with this one category, the monosaccharide. This is our ground zero, our foundational Lego brick. So here's the crucial point, the thing you gotta remember. A monosaccharide is the end of the line. You can't break it down into a smaller sugar. It is the single indivisible unit of the entire carbohydrate world.
And this is where it gets really cool. Even these single bricks come in different shapes. See, both glucose and fructose have the exact same chemical formula. 6 carbons, 12 hydrogens, 6 oxygens. But look closely. The placement of just one of those atoms makes glucose an aldehyde and fructose a ketone. That one tiny change has huge consequences for how they behave and how our bodies use them. Okay, so we've met our Lego bricks. Now, what happens when we start snapping them together? This is where things get really interesting, because by linking these simple units, we can build molecules with entirely new purposes. And this is the whole picture. When you link 2 of those monosaccharides, you get a disaccharide. When you link a whole bunch of them, sometimes thousands, you get a polysaccharide. It's a simple concept of scaling up, from a single brick to a small model to a massive skyscraper. Let's look at a couple of famous disaccharides you definitely know. Sucrose, that's just table sugar, is a glucose molecule linked to a fructose molecule. And lactose, milk sugar, is a galactose linked to a glucose. It's really that simple. Different bricks, different connections, and you get completely different sugars that we find in different foods.
Now, what if you don't just link 2, but thousands of glucose bricks together? Well, you can build one of 2 things. You can create a storage unit, like starch in a potato or glycogen in our muscles, which are designed to be easily broken down for energy. Or you can build structural materials, like cellulose, which gives plants their tough, rigid structure. Same brick, different architecture, totally different job. So we've seen what carbs are made of, from that single brick all the way up to these giant polymers. But let's zoom back out and ask the big question. What do they actually do for us and for all living things?
You know, it's so easy to just think of carbs as fuel, right? Like gasoline for our bodies. And while that's definitely true, it's only a tiny part of the story. Their role in the machinery of life is way more diverse and sophisticated than you might think. I mean, just take a look at this list. It's wild. Yeah, they're our primary energy source, no doubt. But they also form the very backbone of our genetic material. That's the ribose in RNA. They build the walls of plant cells, they act as little ID tags on our own cells, and they're crucial for how our cells talk to each other. And get this, our brains run almost exclusively on glucose. They are truly the Swiss Army knife of biochemistry. No joke. And this right here is a perfect example of that structural role. You're looking at cellular bios.
It's a little two-part unit made of a couple of glucose molecules linked in a very specific way. You chain thousands and thousands of these together, and boom, you get cellulose. That's the stuff that makes wood strong and cotton tough. It's a perfect case of simple units forming a powerful structure. So we've gone all the way from a single molecule to the very fabric of the biological world. Let's bring it all home and wrap this up. It's pretty incredible when you think about it, isn't it? It all starts with a simple arrangement of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. That one little unit can be used as instant fuel, or it can be linked and chained together to store energy for later, or to build some of the strongest biological materials on the entire planet. It's a system of beautiful simplicity and staggering complexity all at once. So, the next time you see carbohydrates on a nutrition label, I want you to remember all this. You're not just looking at a number. You're looking at the architects and the engineers of life, the energy and the structure. So the question is, how does this change the way you see our world? A world that's truly built on sugar.